Hey y'all, welcome to the Second of Strength podcast. My name is Tanner Clark. I went from sitting at a desk to speaking on stage internationally to inspire teenagers and people like you. My goal is simple: help you find your 1 second of strength to walk away from the things that are holding you back, to step into your potential, and ultimately find happiness. Thank you for spending your valuable seconds with me today. Let's go. What is going on? Welcome to the Second of Strength podcast, wherever you are. Thank you for being here. As always, thank you for spending your valuable seconds with me. I know that there's a lot of places, a lot of things you can be doing with your time. So I'm always just grateful that you decide to spend a few minutes with me, and hopefully this episode will help you. If it does help, share it on Instagram, share it somewhere, text it to somebody. I just always believe that there's somebody out there who needs this message on any given day, and it might be you, and it might be someone you know. But the only way to do that is to share it with someone. So I wanted to talk a little bit today. When I was, I'm like out of breath. I don't know why. Probably about 10 to 13 years ago, I had this experience, and it was really kind of a rock bottom moment for me, and really what I can attribute to like where I am today. A lot of it stemmed from this single moment. So a few years back, 13 years ago or so, I was running a sprint triathlon with our church youth group. I worked with the youth and just had the opportunity to go and run this sprint triathlon. And I didn't practice. I was out of shape. I was a guy who ate 8 Oreos every night, didn't watch what I eat, never worked out. I just never did any of that. I had become pretty, from a health perspective, pretty complacent. And, but fine. Like I wasn't really happy with where I was, but I wasn't really doing anything, or nothing felt important enough to do it. So, but I had this experience in 10 minutes. I attribute 10 minutes to changing my life. And those 10 minutes to me were my rock bottom. Those 10 minutes to me signify so much as I look back on where I am today. And the question is, you kind of listen to this, what is the 10 minutes? What is your 10 minutes? What is your rock bottom that's going to be the foundation that you jump off of to get to where you want to go? Because everybody needs that in their lives. And for some people, it's a really significant, serious, maybe a life or death situation. And for other people, it's not. For other people, it may be less serious or less dramatic or traumatic, maybe a better word for that. But even in those moments, there's still this kind of moment of rock bottom where you get to choose what you're going to do. And so for me, I ran this sprint triathlon. It was not hard, I guess. I mean, it was a short swim. It was about a 6-mile bike ride, and then it was about a 2-mile run. And I didn't train. I just woke up in the morning and went and did it. And I finished this thing in 1 hour and 9 minutes. 1 hour and 9 minutes. And as I took the long drive home, it just ate at me, those 10 minutes, right? If I could have finished in 59 minutes instead of 1 hour and 9 minutes, and just those 10 minutes, and this coming under 1 hour started to have such this significance in my life. And it was just 10 minutes. And I kept reflecting on this run, what I'd done. And I kept thinking, man, what if you would have just, run a little bit more? I walked a lot of that 2-mile run. I hate running in general. But on this day, I'd already done the swim. I'd already done the bike ride. So I walked a lot of that run. And I kept thinking, man, what if you could have just jogged? What if you could have just run a little bit more? What if on that bike ride, you could have just pushed it a little bit faster? And it just ate at me for those 10 minutes. Those 10 minutes, what could have been different? And I got to a point where I had a long drive home. It was about a 2-hour drive home. And on this drive home, it just ate at me for 2 hours. And I got home and I told my wife, I said, hey, Monday morning, I'm starting a workout program. And she probably thought I was lying and, was like, okay, sure, whatever. But she's always been very supportive. And so Monday morning, I woke up at, I don't know what time it was, 5:30 in the morning. And I started this workout program, and it was the absolute worst. And then the next day, I woke up again and I did it again. And over a 2-month span, I finished this workout program and I felt great. But to me, everything changed because of those 10 minutes. Everything changed because coming off of that sprint triathlon where I didn't complete it in the way that I wanted to. And your 10 minutes, whatever that is in your life, it could be something that happened with your kids, and maybe, it's sparked a change in you that you want to be a better parent, a different type of parent. But ultimately the question is I determined on that drive home what mattered most in my life, and it was growth. I wanted to grow. I didn't want to be complacent. I didn't want to be someone who was just sitting there and just letting life pass me by anymore, because that's what I was doing. I was sitting on the couch playing video games and watching life pass me by, eating Oreos as well. And I do still love Oreos, but I don't eat them very often or as many of them. But those 10 minutes, I kept thinking like, what is it? And so for you, what is that 10 minutes? What is the rock bottom that either has happened in your life from a traumatic or a real experience? Or what is that rock bottom that you're going to create that is going to become the jumping off point in your life? But what happens is that moment wasn't enough. Those 10 minutes and then deciding to complete this workout program isn't enough, because when I finished that program, I had another choice to make. Am I going to keep going and go into some other exercise program and keep staying healthy and active, or am I going to go backwards? And I loved how I felt. And I decided that the person that I had become in those 2 months, in changing after that 10-minute struggle, but the person that I had become in 2 months was a person that I wanted to be. And I wanted to be someone different and keep growing. And I knew what backwards looked like. I knew the person that used to sit on that couch and eat those Oreos, and I didn't want to be that person anymore. But I still had a choice to make. Am I going to go backwards, or am I going to go forwards? And every day we have this choice. And ultimately it comes down to you making a decision every single day that you are going to propel yourself forward to become the person that you know that you can become, because that person is worth fighting for. That person is worth all of the effort, all of the struggle, all of the tears, all of the pain. That person is worth it. And it is not easy, and it will never be easy. Growth is never easy. It's always hard, but it always works out the way you want it to work out when you choose to do it, because the other person on the other side of that is a person that is worth fighting for. And the person that's backwards, you know what that feels like. And I knew what that feels like. And I made a choice that I could never go backwards. But there was 3 really critical things that I learned in this journey as I moved beyond those 2 months and decided to continue onto the future. And those 3 things that I hope will help you as you jump off of a foundation of kind of rock bottom and decide to continue to move forward. And the first is really to focus on daily discipline. It wasn't about having a big goal at the end. I didn't know what the goal was. I may still not know what the goal is, although I do have goals and dreams and aspirations like you do, but I didn't really know what it was. I just knew that I needed to focus on the daily disciplines, because those were the steps that were going to get me there. And so the first thing is really just do that. Start small. Start with those small little things, because here's the deal. Small things become big things. Small things have a tendency to become everything in your life if you choose to take those small steps, do those small things every day. So work on those. What are those small things? If it's health and fitness, which is always kind of like the cop-out easy way to go about this, and certainly what I'm talking about from the start of my journey. But if it's health and fitness, is a small thing just waking up? Is a small thing just starting? Is a small thing just, choosing to put down something that you shouldn't be eating so that you can, focus on a bigger goal or a healthier goal or a loftier goal? If it's, entrepreneurship, well, what is that small thing that's going to take you that next step towards where you want to go? What is the daily habit that you need to do? And when you focus on those small things and you do them consistently over time, that's when everything changes in your life. Every single thing will change if you choose to do that. So start small with daily discipline. Second piece of that is fall in love with growth, because growth focuses on the journey, not the destination. Again, I didn't know what the destination is, and you might or you might not know what the destination is right now, but focus on the journey. Fall in love with progress. Fall in love with the process of growth and happiness, because that's what's going to help you become better. That's what's going to help you continue to progress and take that next step. Fall in love with the things that are changing you. Fall in love with that growth aspect of your life that is changing you into a better person. Because growth allows you to grow beyond any single goal, right? If you have a goal has a finite finish. A goal always has a finite finish. It's going to end. It may take time. You may do it faster than you thought, but at the end of the day, a goal is designed to have a finite ending point. What we want to do is focus on growth, because growth will give you the power to move beyond any single goal that you have into loftier spaces, which is what the ultimate success looks like here. So the first thing, focus on daily discipline. The second thing is create an environment of change. When I was going through this process of rock bottom and like from a health perspective, changing my life, it started with creating this environment. One, I talked with my wife about it, and I told her what this goal was going to be and what it looked like. And while I said it, she might have laughed at me. She was so supportive of me. And she, in the moments where it was really hard and really painful and really trying, she was there to support me. But that is part of my environment, and creating an environment that's going to foster success and happiness and change. So focus on that. If part of changing your environment is changing those small daily habits, right? I always laugh because, my wife, she'll buy junk food or candy. We have kids, so they, I guess, don't really need junk food, and so she'll buy these treats or this candy or whatever, and then she'll always be like, I didn't need this, I don't want this. And it's like, well, but you keep buying it, right? Like, we keep having it in the house. And so if it's in the house, we eat it. In fact, right before coming down here, I just ate a bunch of sour watermelons, and they were delicious. So, but I only ate them because they were there. I only ate them because they are in the place where I have a habit of going when I'm a little bit snacky. If I had gone into that place as a habit of wanting a snack, and those treats or those sweets weren't there, I wouldn't have eaten them. So that's what we have to do, is we have to foster an environment of change. And that might be just changing your daily habits, changing the things that are in place so that you can be better. I always, in the mornings, I guess at night before I go to bed, I always set my alarm to the time I'm going to wake up and do my workout. And I always set out my workout clothes and get my pre-workout drink ready, so that there's no question in the morning of, am I going to wake up and work out? It's already been decided. I decided the night before that it was going to happen. So I've created a habit and an environment of change. So, but wherever you are, and think about your environment that you're at, and think a couple of questions you can ask yourself. One, am I being challenged? If you're not being challenged, then you may not be in an environment that is going to help change your life. Two, are you excited for a new day? Are you excited to wake up in the morning? And if you're not excited to wake up in the morning, you have to take a really hard look in the mirror and ask yourself if you are stuck, if you are in a place where you're not growing, in a place where you're not changing. Ask yourself if you are in a place that just isn't conducive to where you want to be in your long term. So, am I being challenged? Am I excited for a new day? Am I getting out of my comfort zone? Ask yourself if you are out of your comfort zone, because like we always say, growth happens outside of your comfort zone. And if you want to grow, if you want to change who you are, I promise it only happens if you leave your comfort zone. And that can be scary. It can be intimidating, but it is the way to growth. And then ask yourself, am I focused on moving forward, or am I stuck in the past? I think a lot of times we just get in this space where we just stay where we are and we don't move forward because the past is comfortable. The past is known, even if it's a traumatic or not a great past or a bad circumstance that you're in. It's the place that we stay because we don't know what forward looks like, but we do know what now looks like. So we just stay in that. So focus on moving forward instead of being stuck in the past. So the third thing to really help with this as I looked at changing my life and what has kept me on the path of change is, the first was daily discipline. The second was changing my environment, making sure that it was conducive to growth and maintaining that growth that I wanted to maintain. And then the third is just believing in yourself. I think that this is maybe the one torpedo that sinks so many people, because if we look at our self-esteem and how much we believe in ourselves, it is really the ceiling that caps our potential. So if you have this lofty goal of whatever it is, you want to just grow and I don't know, change the world, right? Like whatever your goal is that you want to do, or you want to be the best parent, you want to be the best student, you want to be the best athlete, whatever it is. If you have a 10 as a goal, but you believe in yourself at a 5, you are not going to reach that 10. You have to change your thoughts around yourself to be able to grow into the person that you want to become, to be able to grow into that goal. And the first thing to do this is it really starts with how you talk to yourself. I think a lot of times we beat ourselves up. We don't give ourselves the benefit of the doubt. We talk to ourselves in words like, I'm not good enough, that I'm not this type of person. I'm not I don't know, like I was talking with my daughter the other day and I think we were talking about math, and she said, I'm not good at math. And I said, well, if you keep saying you're not good at math, then you're not going to be good at math. You have to decide that you're going to change your mindset around those things and say, I am good at math. And then you'll start walking that path into what you really want to be. So, but if you start saying, I'm not good at XYZ, you'll start to believe it. The same way you say, if you are good at XYZ, you'll start to believe that too. So watch how you're talking to yourself. Watch the things you're saying to yourself, because it does matter in a big way. And I don't care if you have to lie to yourself a little bit to just take that extra step forward and start to believe in yourself. That's okay too, because while you may not feel like you're completely there yet, you will get there. You will grow into that person, but it does take time, energy, effort, and belief. So watch how you talk to yourself. Also, stop comparing yourself to others. I think too many times we look at where we are in this life and we look at other people, and it's so easy to look at other people on their path right now, right? We just open up any app on your phone, Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is, and you start looking at other people, and immediately we judge who we are based on where they are. That is the worst thing we can possibly do to become the best version of ourselves. Because if we start comparing our life to other people, and wherever they are in their journey, but it's beyond where we are on our journey, and we just beat ourselves up for it, it's never going to get us to where we want to go, because we will always feel like we're behind. But take a minute and look at where you are versus where you used to be, right? When I was doing that workout and I got 2 months ahead of where I was, my body started changing. My energy level started changing. Everything started changing. But it wasn't fair to go and look on Instagram and look at all these, athletes and models or whoever it was who've been like working out for years and years and years and years and like dialing in their fitness and dialing in their nutrition. That's not fair to me, because I've just been on this journey for 2 months and just learning it as I go. But man, I was so much happier and so much better than the 2 month ago version of who I was. And so let's compare ourselves to us. Let's compare ourselves to our journey and not to other people, because it's not fair to compare our middle to somebody else's end. That's just not fair. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to the people that you love. It's not fair to anyone. So watch how we watch who we're comparing ourselves to, or don't compare yourselves to other people. And then the third piece of believing in yourself, there's a one I can't talk anymore. There's a one-word strategy. This comes from the book Aspire by Kevin Hall, but he asks people to choose one word that describes you. So people who are in growth mode, that are trying to become better, like, what's the one word that describes you? And those words, it could be any number of things. It could be, I'm changing, I'm growing, inspiring, I'm motivational, I'm happy. But what is the word that you want to focus on? Because what happens is, when we give ourselves one thing to focus on, it will drown out the rest of the things that we shouldn't be focusing on. Because a lot of times we get in this space where there's so many things coming at us in any given moment that we can't focus on the things that we need to be focusing on. So this one word strategy is that, where it just gives you one thing to focus on. And when we start focusing on that thing, it has the power to expand, the power to grow, the power to change us even more. So if the word was I'm inspirational, And I just wake up in the morning and I think I'm inspirational. And then before I go to bed at night, I think I'm inspirational. And if something goes bad during the day, I think I'm inspirational. If I start thinking that word over and over and over again, I guarantee I'm going to become even more inspirational than I'm already saying that I think I am. Because the brain will automatically go to work in creating that reality that I am telling myself that I am. So focus on that one word. And if you get a second right now, just pause this, think about what is that one word that you are, that you're going to focus on instead of all of the other words that are creating noise and clutter in your life and not helping you become the person that you want to become. But ultimately, those are the three things that I've learned over the last, 13 years that have really helped me stay on this course to the best version of myself. And it started with rock bottom. It started with 10 minutes of frustration and pain that I was so bugged with myself that I couldn't finish that stupid triathlon in just 10 minutes less time. I just needed to get that 59 minutes and I didn't. Maybe I should run another one. I'll think about it. But I just needed to get that 59. Instead, I didn't. And so those 10 minutes just wore at me and just ate at me and ate at me and ate at me. But it was from there, when I decided to change, it was daily discipline. It was changing my environment and creating an environment of growth and change. And then it was believing in myself. And those three things have continued to carry me to where I am right now. And I don't know where the future leads. I don't know what is ahead of me. I don't know what's going to happen, what lurks around every corner. But I do know that daily discipline, creating an environment of change and growth, and believing in myself are the three things that have carried me from where I was till now, and they will carry me into the future. So today, wherever you are, focus on those three things. Take a minute today, think about them. Think about your daily disciplines. What are the small habits that you can put into your life? Because those small things become big things. What can you change in your environment to better position yourself for success? And then what are the words and things you're going to say to yourself to boost your self-esteem so that you can continue to walk that pathway of growth? And I promise if you do that, it will help you more than you will ever know. So I hope that helps wherever you are. Again, thanks for listening. If you haven't left a rating and review for the show, please do so. Subscribe wherever you're listening to so you don't miss a show. Share it on Instagram. Share it with your teenagers. Share it with your family member. Share it with someone. And I'll leave you the way I always leave you. Go find your 1 second of strength and be happy. Thank you for listening to today's episode. I hope it helped you. If you haven't already, hit subscribe so you never miss another episode and leave a review for the show. And as always, go find your 1 second of strength and be happy.